Hey everybody, it's Eugene Holden. Can you believe it? This is the daily guide for March 31st. Before we get into this guide, I want to just say thank you so very much for everyone who has contacted me to let me know how the daily guides have affected your lives. It is always an honor and a blessing for me to do the daily guides for this, the Science of Mind magazine, the division of Centers for Spiritual Living. It is always a blessing. It is always a joy for me to do the daily guides. So here's the daily guide for March 31st, and it is entitled Practice, Practice, Practice. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "An ounce of practice is worth more than a ton of preaching." And Dr. Ernest Holmes says in the Science of Mind textbook, "One of the great difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice." I'm telling you, practice, practice, practice. Here's your daily guide. You doubtless have heard the phrase, practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. I believe that perfect practice makes perfect. See, because I can practice something in a way that's not going to bring perfection, and we all can define what that word means for ourselves, right? One of the definitions, the dictionary definition for perfect is whole and complete, right? So not only does practice make, it's not so much that practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. Perfect practice is about being disciplined and consistent. It is not so much about doing the technique of the practice perfectly, it's about doing the practice daily. So I've been a martial artist for a long time, since I was in my teenage years, and I still practice, and it's it's not a daily practice now, but I do, work out on this maybe 3 or 4 times per week. And I do the same exercises, the same forms that I've been doing since I started. And every time I do a form, especially in my Tai Chi, there's always something new, right? There's always something more that's being revealed. So when we talk about inclusion and including everybody, we're talking about the fact that inclusion requires a whole soul commitment to being one with all of life. This definitely does take practice. There must be a willingness to do things differently. This may look like letting go of the activities and perhaps some relationships that no longer serve your highest purpose, that do not serve your vision. Now, this will entail letting go of the sense of separation, letting go of the us versus them mentality. Remember, there is no separation. Being open to possibilities is about being open to the fact that we are all in this together, and as we come together collectively to work for the good of all, without any us versus them, as we do that, understanding that there is a power in the universe greater than we are and we get to use it, that we become not only vehicles and instruments, but we become channels through which your vision, your purpose is starting to fulfill itself, touching everyone else. In addition, when we commit to practicing at this level, we commit to practicing the presence of the divine. Think about that, right? Practicing the presence of the divine. That's practicing unconditional love. That's practicing abundant creativity. That's practicing, just being that vehicle of creativity. Practicing the presence is another way of practicing love, keeping our mind stayed on God, practicing forgiveness, peace, and the other qualities of God that resonate within you and the world. We want to commit to developing your practice of inclusion. We want to commit to developing our practice of inclusion. Reach out to someone who appears to be different from you. Ask a family member or a friend whom you have not talked to for some time Ask a family member or a friend that you may not have talked to for some time to have a video call with you and a virtual coffee/tea break. Inclusion takes all of us. I have faith. I have faith that we can be the difference in the world. I know that as we come together, that we can not only be a difference in the world, we can make a difference in the world. Be willing to practice the presence of the divine. Peace and abundant blessings. I'll see you soon.